I think I'm getting there. But it is a fine balance. It's like, because I'm very much into education, and I think the more knowledge you have about the plant, the less scary it is. And you can pass that knowledge on, and the more people know, the more people know. So yeah, it's hard to like fit that education piece in with the like, let's have a joyous time. So one of my events, I had an
Welcome back to OH-HighYo podcast. I'm the Ebony Hempress, and we got Will Baldwin over here to my left. And today's guest is someone who is truly building community through joy, creativity, and intentional experiences. She's the founder of Stony Pony Events, a woman-owned, LGBTQ-owned, and disabled-owned events brand based in California that focuses on fun, unique workshops and cannabis-friendly gatherings that bring people together. From karaoke nights to community clubs, her work is all about normalization, connection, and creating spaces where people can show up as themselves. Today, we're talking about event creation, cannabis culture, community building, and what it really takes to create inclusive, joyful experiences that last. Sally, welcome to OH-HighYo podcast.
Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
having me. So nice to be here. I just noticed you can see my breath. That's how cold it is where I am.
How cold is it right now where you're at? Do you actually know how cold it is?
Last time I checked, it was 51, but felt like 38 because of the wind gusts of 45 miles per hour.
So it's 38
45
degrees.
miles.
So it's 38. That's how I look at it. If it feels like it's 38 degrees, it's
It's
38 degrees.
38 degrees.
So I'm good, but little chilly.
My
Right.
goodness. Well, I hope you got a blanket or something with you.
I
We like
do.
to start out every episode with the same question. Do you use cannabis? Why or why not?
Okay, that's a great question. Yes, I do. I use cannabis on a daily basis, and the why has evolved over time. My relationship with cannabis has evolved over time. Currently, I use it very, very medicinally. I have been, I'll just, out the gate, I'll just be honest, I have been ill with a mysterious thing. The doctors can't figure out for about 8 months now. And even before that, I used to tell people cannabis saves my life. I can't eat without it. I can't sleep without it. And that has been magnified by like 1,000 in the past 8 months, and really, really reminded me even more so why I love the plant so much and appreciate her as much as I do, and why I do what I do.
That's so beautiful, and thank you so much for sharing your personal, connection to cannabis with us. I know a lot of people can definitely relate, to just having to lean on cannabis for so many things. It's such a versatile plant, and
Mm-hmm.
we're all blessed to have it here as a
We
gift to
really
us.
are. We really are. And
Yes.
I'm grateful every day, really. Every time I experience a lot of nausea, especially lately. And every time I'm nauseous and I have a little puff and I immediately feel better, I'm like, thank you so much. Like I'm just so appreciative and like in awe of what she does and why people are mad at her.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
deep for sure.
I don't understand it. Once again, it's another one where we've talked about it on other episodes where like at the end of the day, it's a plant that's connected to earth. And like if it's something that's supposed to be grounded and really help us ground and find ourselves and it's doing that, why is it an issue? You know?
Well,
Literally.
how much time do we have? Such question, loaded question, and something I ponder on an hourly basis, I think. Like, she's natural. She's so helpful. Never killed anyone. Why do we hate her so much? People,
Yeah.
come on.
Girl, that is felt. So for people just discovering you, Sally, how do you usually describe who you are and what you do?
That's a wonderful question because that too has evolved over time. I will try to very briefly tell you why that is. I used to say, "Hi, I'm Sally. I was born and raised in LA. I have a master's degree in clinical psychology and neuropsychology, and I'm a trained therapist." And that has changed over the last maybe 3 years. I decided to change careers. And now I say I'm Sally, born and raised in LA, now living in Mendocino County. I'm a small business owner. I do cannabis friendly events. And it's just a strange evolution that has taken place, a very, very meaningful and rewarding one, honestly.
That's beautiful. And I think that's awesome because you do come from like a professional medical background, like as a, a mental health specialist,
Yeah.
to completely flip your life around like that says a lot.
Yeah, it is. It's a big deal too because actually my last job in mental health was working as a therapist at a substance abuse facility for men with addiction and other mental health disorders. And so that was an insane job on its own. Then also during COVID, added like 1,000 times more stress and craziness. And I burnt out. And then to have worked as a substance abuse therapist to like come out as working in the cannabis industry is like really huge for me, actually. It's a really big deal, even though it's legal in California where I live. In grad school, they pound it into you. You don't talk about your personal life, especially if you do drugs, and you don't tell anybody anything you wouldn't want a patient to know. So I had to hide my use during grad school, which was really sad because it was really helpful during grad school. So yeah, it's one of those things that's like shouldn't be, but it is, like it's a big deal for me to say like I work in the industry of cannabis.
Definitely. Yeah. No, I definitely hear you on that. I have friends that, work in regular industries or whatever, like non-cannabis, and they do feel like they have to like completely put on a whole new suit when they walk out the door and stuff. Like it's really
It's so
serious. So
sad. It makes me really sad because
it does.
why? Again, Will, why?
No, I mean,
Why
for real,
do
like
it?
going to work, I feel like I have to put on a whole facade. Like there's a whole nother different wheel that I
I
have
hate
that
that.
when I'm out there printing. I have printing wheel, and then I have just me, where I'm just chilling and vibing and smoking. So like you have to kind of like code switch, not only in like talking maybe, but like also in the way that you have to like code switch everything.
Yeah. And oh my God, you guys, I used to be a teacher, not a teacher, a substitute teacher in a small county. And I'm talking 6 schools in the whole district, small. So if I'm walking the dog, smoking a joint, walking down, Miss Pierce, I'm like, oh no, oh no. Or I'm like at the grocery store and I know I smell like weed and I see all the kids like, why did you go to the grocery store at 3 o'clock, Miss Pierce? All the kids are here and they recognize you and you smell like weed. And it's just like, I could lose my job, it's just so
yeah, it's that serious. Like in small towns, it do be that serious. And you be like, hey, bro, it's really not. Like I'm gonna need you.
I really do hate that for people, honestly. Because ever since I started working in cannabis, I was just like, it's a whole new world.
It really is.
And I've been living in that world for so long now. Even trying to consider like a non-cannabis job is just like, I don't even know if I can. I don't even know if I can do that.
No, I won't. I refuse. Like, if a job says it drug test, I'm like, no. Like, it could be amazing pay, and I'm like, no, I won't.
This is not what's happening.
That's how big of a paradigm shift cannabis can really have on people. Because, some people might hear this exact podcast, you know what I mean? And be from that whole other, thought form background and think that we're crazy.
Yes.
same. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's really crazy the spectrum that, you know, has been made like due to just like the stigmatization.
I give you, now that we've gone to the bigger events too, because you know, for me, Bree's been to some of the bigger events in statewide. This was our first time going to bigger events like nationally for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we've seen it, like when you get a taste of the industry and you get to meet the people, you get to learn that this industry has got a lot of love in it. You know what I'm saying? So it's actually driven by people themselves. So like I feel like if we had more industries that were built and sustained in the way that they sustained in the cannabis industry, we would have a lot more profitability in things. People would get along more better. You know what I'm saying? Like, because this industry is where like people, we all basically are just like a bunch of friends, a bunch of
we all just hippies.
It's so true. My partner, he's from Colombia, and there was something we were talking about. I don't know what, and I was like, dude, that would be your competition. And he goes, amor. I'm sorry, I have to do his accent. I can't not do his accent. He's like, amor, we are not the competition. We are colleagues. And I was like, oh, that is amazing. And like, it's so true. Like, I have learned that, like, getting more into the industry, like, people view it as not competition, but as a collaborative opportunity, not to compete, but to like help each other thrive and help the plant thrive. Like, we all have really one true goal, and that's to have access and equal access to this plant.
Yes.
Yes, facts.
So what inspired you to start Stony Pony Events?
Stony Pony. So Stony Pony Event. Well, let me tell you a little backstory. Stony Pony was born 20 years ago. Oh God, I'm old. While I was in undergrad, and it was, I don't know, you guys might be too young. Do you remember when donuts were like super cool and like they went crazy and they were really hip, like crazy creative concoctions? Anyway, I thought I was so unique, and I was like, I'm gonna have my own donut shop, and it's gonna be called Stony Pony Donies. And in my head, picture of this little.
Stop by.
I mean, it could still happen, y'all. I'm planning to take over the world. So,
I think a lot of people do.
And so I had imagined this little white pony with red glazed over eyes, and then when I came up with my business idea, I was like, Stony Pony, he can come back to life. But really, the idea to come up with my own events business was, I was about a year ago, I think it was October 2024, I was sitting in this giant consumption lounge in Oakland, and it was empty. It was just me smoking a joint, kicking back on this couch, and I'm like, this is dope. Where is everybody? Where are all my friends? Hold on, I don't have any friends, because consumption lounges were new to me, at least. Like, I didn't know they existed. I had been to Amsterdam. I was like, this is amazing. Why is this not, people aren't shouting from the rooftops, we can be social with weed? And I looked for events and things and clubs, and I didn't find any. And so I was like, I'm just going to make my own. So I made the Bay Area Cannabis Club, and I talked to this lounge, and I was like, what do you think if I hosted these events at your lounge? Like, yeah, well, that's cool. And the first Bay Area Cannabis Club social sesh, or as I call BAC for short, social sesh, I think 4 people came. Second one, 8 people came. Third one, 30 people came.
Wow.
And people were thanking me, you guys. They were like, this is something I really wanted and really needed. And thank you for organizing this and putting this together. This is a needed thing in the community. And I, as a therapist, have never felt as rewarded in my whole career as a therapist as I did that night, bringing people together that may have never ever met each other, and getting along and appreciating the plant together. And it just sparked something inside of me. And I was like, I think I can make this a thing. I think I can do this like as a job. And I just decided like I'm gonna do it.
That's lit. Honestly, I think that's dope.
I mean, like, why not? I quit my job at the rehab because I was so burnt out. It's like I didn't even have anything lined up. I got to a point where I was like, I feel like I'm so burnt out. I'm doing more harm than good. Like I need to step out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I was looking for jobs for like a couple years actually, and I was being super picky because I didn't want to get back into any kind of situation like that. And I started organizing some events for a friend, and I was like, I'm really good at this. This is fun. And I enjoy like just doing even the like tiny details of like calling the venue and be like, what, like just I'm not sure why, but I enjoy it. And so then, when I made Bay Area Cannabis Club, it was just kind of a natural thing. And when people were like, this is a needed thing in the community, I was like, boom, sold, new career.
No, honestly, I don't blame you at all because it's still, even though from our point of view, there's probably a decent amount of events that happen, a lot of people still just don't know about our world. Like we're in like our own little bubble.
Yes.
So it's there's definitely opportunity there.
Because I didn't know, and once I got more involved in the industry, I did find more things. Like, there's sessions and underground things and stuff like that. And there are like legit events too, but I don't know. I just saw like not a hole, but like a space that could be filled for just having fun. Like I want Stony Pony is about normalization and destigmatization, but it's also about like joy and play and just like I say, like why do the drinkers get to have all the fun? Like why not bong pong? Why not, like karaoke?
What you saying? The swag, the Stony Pony. You just like you can make a catchy phrase out of it. I can see that. Like Stony Pony. Like, it's very catchy. It's something that like I can hold on to and remember the name and be like, you know what? This chick is lit and this brand is lit and the name is lit. So everything kind of arrives on time.
For sure.
That's nice to hear. Someone once told me no one would take me seriously with that name.
What gap did you notice in the event? Or wait, no, I feel like you just answered that. Just
Which one? I'm so sorry. I can elaborate, or no, we don't need.
So I'll move on. What the phrase you use a lot is spark joy and cultivate community. What does that phrase actually look like in real life?
That's a great question because I love obviously play and play on words. Spark joy, cultivate community. I also have added like curate events. So, it's kind of like I want Stony Pony to bring the fun. Like I want there was, I don't know if I'm allowed to say other things like event people. One of Skunk Magazine invited me to the first inaugural skunk camp, and they were like, you can do whatever you want, Stony Pony, whatever. And I was like, I want to lounge. I want to be the consumption lounge at this event because they have sound baths and massage, which is all very lovely. But also, where's the fun?
Where's the party at?
Yes, where's the party? Where's that spark? Where's that joy? Where's that bucket? So I was like, I'm gonna have Stony Pony Lounge, and I did a speed friending event. It was the first, I wanted it to be the first activity on the agenda because it was a camping thing, and you're spending the night with these people. Maybe we want to get to know them. So I did a speed friending event. I posed questions and we passed a bong around, and whoever got caught with the bong had to ask the questions. It was very cute. I had coffin paint. Yeah, it was super cute. My therapist definitely came out. Some people were like, I feel like I just left a therapy session. I was okay, Sally, note to self, make the questions more fun, less serious.
I love therapy. Shoot, I love talking about therapy.
It's fun when you got a good group that like it's got the vibe though. You know what I'm saying? So like it's not the same things, everything's cool. So that means you cultivated the vibe, which is good.
Yeah. So, stuff like that. And my partner was rolling joints for people, and I had puff and paint set up, and my karaoke event is very joyful. I didn't realize people were so serious about their karaoke. It's become very popular at the lounge. And I had my 4th birthday in July, and I had a big party, including a karaoke segment. And I almost canceled this segment of the party. And someone overheard me and said, no, no, you mustn't. We came for the karaoke. And I was like, okay, I will give the people what they want. So the karaoke must go on.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. So
All right,
I did the karaoke. It was my birthday, but they wanted it.
that live free. That's that live free, die hard attitude. Like, walk in. It don't matter. It don't matter.
Yep.
So your events feel playful, intentional at the same time. How do you balance that with purpose? So, like, how do you balance fun with the actual purpose of what it's trying to communicate?
That is something I'm still trying to figure out. My business is very new, and I'm trying to not solidify, but like find Stony Pony's voice. I think I'm getting there, but it is a fine balance. It's like, because I'm very much into education, and I think the more knowledge you have about the plant, the less scary it is. And you can pass that knowledge on, and the more people know, the more people know. So yeah, it's hard to like fit that education piece in with the like, let's have a joyous time. So one of my events, I'd pin the Stony on the pony, was like pin the horn on the unicorn, and I gave out prizes. And so I try to infuse the education with the fun. But yeah, it is hard, and I'm still trying to like figure that out for sure.
But you're very creative, so it sounds like people are having fun either way.
It is interesting because I actually never thought I was a creative person. I'm like, I am not crafty. I am not artsy. I am not creative. I like science.
Wow.
Man, hey, being an artist, that's like the best thing. When you catch a vibe and you're right on par with it, or you're like at the same level, and it's just giving you abundance from like what you're learning from like coming out of it, by what you're trying to do or what you're trying to learn from what you're doing. That's like the greatest part of it. So like,
it's so fun. It's so fun to learn. I don't know. It's fun to learn how to be a business owner. It's fun to learn more about this industry. Like everything about it is just so much fun. It's not hard. It's difficult to make, y'all know, creating your own business is hard. And, the community aspect of what I do is what helps me to keep going, actually. Which is why another reason 8,000,001 why I love cannabis is that the community is so awesome. Like we were saying before, like the people in this community tend to be just amazing people in general.
I agree. And I definitely feel like what ties us all together is cannabis. And that's the reason why, at the end of the day, I believe.
One small thing ties it whole nationwide, which is crazy.
Yeah.
World peace! We're so close.
We're going to solve all the world.
Listen, I'm going to call it now. Listen, okay? If we can just let Tree be, I'm trying to tell you.
You, man. That girl.
It's possible.
It really will.
Why are you barking, little dog?
Sorry, I got a little loud there. I got
excited. It's all good. All right. So last question. All right. So why do you think people are craving experiences like karaoke and community workshops right now? Why do you think people need that?
Teddy, sorry guys. That is something that I am still trying to figure out as well. I originally came at it from, what do I want? What would I like? What would I want as a cannabis user? And that is, I don't really drink. It makes me feel awful immediately now. And I wanted to create spaces and opportunities for people to be social with weed. I think cannabis use, even to this day, is so stigmatized that it is very isolating to be a cannabis user. And to have opportunities to come together with other people who use cannabis and appreciate the plant is, I think, pretty rare even today. And I don't think people want to be lonely anymore. I don't think, like I say, why do drinkers get to have all the fun?
If there's a homie in a circle and he's like passing a joint and you go out there and stand and he hops in and he does one of them joints, I'm not gonna refuse that joint. Like I'm gonna just be like, appreciate you, bro. What's going on? And like that is, like I said, that's the beauty of the plant. It's that easy to be able to be like, here, bro, let's just share this, have a conversation.
That is the beauty. It brings people together from all walks of life that may never ever meet under any other circumstance than to share this plant. And I think it's really beautiful.
Yeah, I feel you. So let me ask you this. What roles do you try to normalize in trying to push the normalizing of cannabis culture?
Well, sorry. What? What role?
What role does your events play in normalizing cannabis culture?
Got you.
But like specifically for what do you think your events specifically help to normalize it?
I think that the more present, the more you show cannabis use, the more out there it is. It becomes a normal part of our culture. If I can say, hey, we're going to do karaoke and you can get high while you do it, that's new. And that makes people feel better that they use. Like I was saying before, my mom, she said I could say this. She was a dancer who loved all the drugs in the 70s. And even she is like, Sally, you use the pot every day. Oh my. And it's like, Mom, like the motivation, all the stereotypes, like, how are you going to get anything done? It's like, Mom, I actually am better at like doing the dishes and when I smoke cannabis because, I won't get into it, but I think the more you show that it's okay to use cannabis and sing songs and have a mixer where you meet people that are maybe of the poly community or of the queer community, like, it's not so scary. It's really not. So I think I'm just trying to be really honest and put it all out there.
Honest soul.
That'll help,
That's
hopefully.
Say. She's got an honest soul. She just wants you to know. So why is creating safe, welcoming spaces especially important in cannabis adjacent communities? Things that are tied to those communities.
As a person who uses cannabis medicinally and has invisible disabilities, I think it's really important to make everybody feel comfortable. You can't make, I've tried, you cannot make every single person comfortable, but as a therapist too, I try to approach my events trauma informed. Like, I want people to know, like, hey, it's going to be loud that night. Like I'm part of the neurodivergent community and also the polyamorous community, which is actually tied together in a strange way. Tangent. So I am trying to make my events and just be upfront and honest about what it's going to be like, so coming in what you can handle, what you can't handle. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to know there's handicap parking here,
Yeah. I feel like that's just being considerate too, honestly.
Yeah, and I just think the cannabis community, or maybe it's just the people that are coming to my events, like, they tend to be neurodivergent or have disabilities, and it's important to have spaces for those people too.
Definitely.
That's facts. So how do you design your events to feel inclusive to people who may be new to cannabis or cannabis culture?
So new to cannabis and cannabis culture. So that is something I'm developing right now. Because that is something that has come up quite frequently. I don't think I have any specific event geared towards that community, which is not cool. I would like to include them too. It's very important.
Yeah.
They're a very important group of people to include. And I am working on how to do that.
Do you feel like your events aren't like easy for newer consumers to just like acclimate to, like culture wise and event wise? Or do you feel like they're kind of free flowing and easygoing?
My events are pretty chill. Don't like, for example, the pre-roll workshop was like for people of any skill. If you've never even tried to roll a joint before, you are welcome. If you know what I mean, if you've joints for 10 years but you want to learn how to do, I don't know, something cool that Hapa knows how to do, then you are also welcome. The back social sesh is for you to meet people that appreciate cannabis, and there's nobody is required to know anything about weed at those things. But I think it would be nice if I was more intentional about including that group. Yes. And I'm working on developing an online community for people who cannot come at all to events.
Nice.
I want to do like my workshop, my pre-roll workshop, I can do online. I can have all kinds of workshops online and like even live stream events if that was something anybody was interested in.
Awesome.
All right, hey, I'm down for a good live stream. If I can see parties happening, that also brings people. Like if they live stream, hey, I'm there. So I
I'm trying to get into the live
that would be so
streams.
funny.
in the stream, my guy. We in the chat.
You be talking to the chat like, chat, no. That is so silly.
Man, that's funny.
So you also created the Bay Area Cannabis Club. What inspired that and what makes it different from a typical meetup?
So the Bay Area Cannabis Club was the, I guess, first, I don't know, rendition of my business. It was like, like I said, like I didn't have a bunch of friends to come chill with me at the lounge. So I decided to make the club and meet a bunch of friends, and it worked. Not a lot. I have several very close friends that I met at either the first or second back social sesh, which is just so cool to me. And yeah, so it was just, I couldn't find anything like that I wanted. So I just decided to do it my dang.
Nice.
She reminds me of Luxleaf. You know how Luxleaf had so much like a courageous spirit, but she was like really excited to be on the podcast, just ready to like tackle what she can do and how she can contribute to the community and be like, a really positive experience with her business. You kind of model the same type of spirit. I see that where it's like
she's on the precipice right now.
Yeah, you're like right there on the upcoming. So like keep at it because like we've seen Luxleaf grow and she does well now. So she does really well.
Dropped a new edition too. She dropped like a limited edition set. She did accessories. Yeah. Like girly accessories though, like high class, girly for the girls.
For the girly.
Columbus. That's the crazy part. I'm surprised I still haven't ran into her yet. That's the crazy part. As far as I know, she lives in Columbus. Yeah.
That's where Bree is located. She's located in Columbus.
But yeah, so she actually sent me a box. I haven't opened it yet because I have to make a video for it.
Oh my gosh, that would be such torment for me.
But it has to be the right time.
Yeah. I get it.
Okay, sorry about that. I didn't mean to just
No, you're fine. I want to look her up. I want to look at her.
It's Lux we have an episode with her.
No.
What have you learned about consistency and trust from running a recurring community space?
Consistency and I think consistency and trust are huge for people to be repeating customers of Stony Pony Events. And I really strive for that. However, I have found that in this industry, it's so weird. This industry is like full of a bunch of stoners, and we're not exactly the most timely of people, the most, consistent of people. So it's actually been hard for me being like a type A like person to get used to how this industry kind of flows. And so the consistency and trust has been a little hard for me to build because it's not all dependent on me, which I wish it was. I don't have control issues, you guys. I want to have control of everything.
I feel like, I mean, yeah, it's one of those deals where it's like if you have more people around you, you'd be able to do more. I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And if they, listened to me and did what I wanted them to do on time.
I feel that.
But yeah, no, it is important because like why would anyone want to come to my event if I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's every second Friday except this one and also that one." You know what I mean? Like to be there for people every second Friday. We have the back social sesh. Every fourth Friday we have karaoke, and that's important to people.
You feel that pressure.
I
You
feel
do.
a little pressure, but it's a
Yeah.
good pressure. It's a good pressure. It feels good
Yes.
to be wanted and needed, and it for something that I enjoy doing and I like. So I really love it.
Awesome. How has the Oakland and Bay Area community shaped the way you build?
So that's a hard question just because I actually haven't lived in the Bay Area since 2022. I have my events there, but I don't live there. So it's almost like I'm a visitor trying to be a local. It's, like I did live in the Bay for 14 years, but I haven't in, 3 or 4. And so I'm actually trying to not only expand, but move my events more north where I live in the Mendocino County area. But I can't not have events in the Bay. I don't know what it is about Oakland, but it's like the diversity of the people, eagerness and joy that I see from the people that come to karaoke. Like I can't not have that,
It's unmatched.
it is unmatched. It's totally unmatched. And I don't get paid for it. I get nothing from it except the rewarding feeling and the fun that comes from it, really.
Yeah, it's priceless what you're doing, it sounds like, because
Yeah.
you're helping people, you're building that community, and you're right, a lot of people are lonely and need community and don't even realize that's what they need,
Yeah.
So
Yes. Yeah, and I think I don't even remember who made the movie, but there's this movie that's called Join a Club, and it's just how important it is. It's a newer movie within the last few years. It's so important to be a part of something, no matter what the club is. And the Bay Area Cannabis Club, whatever the hell it's called, it doesn't matter. But if you feel included in something and there's like-minded people and you get high and feel good, what more could you ask for?
literally. So Will, do you want to go into our segments, or do you want to switch up since we're hitting the 45-minute mark? How do
I do want to get those last questions in. So we can do yours. We can just skip mine for this one. The Hemper's house is a staple. People love, we gotta have the Hemper's house.
Is it a staple?
Oh, what is it? What is it?
So glad that you asked.
I heard the
Welcome to
game.
the Empress House. Appreciate you guys being here today. This is our first Empress House of 2026. Let's take a moment to just breathe together. Thank you so much, Sally, for being here today with us. The Empress House is our moment that we like to take to kind of have a little change of pace and reflect on our personal connection with cannabis in a different way. So You already mentioned to us that you use cannabis very medicinally. I like to ask people if they could describe their cannabis connection to the plant as spiritual, even recreational, social. Do you want to share with us or with the audience, you know, any more about how you view cannabis or honor cannabis?
Sure, I would love to, and I very much appreciate this segment as a therapist. The change of pace and breathing is very comforting to me.
Thank you.
I was against cannabis. I was against all drugs. My biological father was an addict, and I was very much anti all drugs. When I was in sixth grade, I found a bag of weed in my mom's underwear drawer, and I cried and made her flush it down the toilet. When I grew up, I said to my mom, Mom, I am so sorry that I made you flush all that. It was a big bag. Flush all that weed down the toilet. And she said, You know what, Sally? That was shitty weed, and I was holding it for someone else anyway. It doesn't.
That was shitty weed is so funny. Oh my God.
But so I went from that to when I was 19 for the first time I tried weed, and it was for fun, for recreation. And then I got sick in undergrad with another mysterious illness, and turned out that it saved my life. I couldn't eat without it, couldn't sleep without it. Don't know how I would have gotten through those couple years, honestly, without cannabis. And since then, I've used it for sleep, anxiety, pain. And like I said before, that has magnified in the last 8 months. And it's honestly the only thing that has helped me with my illness in the last 8 months. I've been given lots of ointments and other medications, and nothing helps but weed.
Wow, that is very beautiful. And thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
We definitely appreciate you, being vulnerable and open to just share your personal journey, because everybody's journey is unique and has value, So thank you so much.
Thank you
And
for letting me share. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much for being part of the Hempress house right now. I have one other question that I like to ask everyone. It's a little bit imaginative, so if you need to suspend your disbelief, essentially, if you can imagine the cannabis plant speaking to you or trying to convey a message from Mother Earth, what do you think that message is coming through to you?
Honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is you are loved. I really don't know why, and I don't know really how to explain it, but I think she loves us.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah, I actually feel that very deeply as well, especially with cannabis being a plant, it's green, that heart chakra energy. I do feel that cannabis is a very loving and just like nurturing plant with all of its things that it can offer us.
Yeah, totally.
As a community. So thank you so much for
Thank you.
being a part of Hemper's house and sharing those little pieces of yourself with us today. And that's my segment.
Yay.
Thank you.
That's where we're at the 50-minute mark. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of skim through these last couple questions so that way we're not too overtime.
Okay.
From your perspective, what does California cannabis culture do really well?
California cannabis culture. I think the consumption lounge culture that is I'm trying to help build is huge. I think it's huge in the normalization of weed and destigmatization. And Mr. Gavy Gav Newsom, I don't agree. Me and my best friend call him Noose on the Loose. We were like, Noose is on the loose. And like, we don't agree with everything.
Stony Pony, Noose on the Loose.
These little things.
Yeah. So Noose on the Loose, I think he's done good with letting us have some entertainment and events and food at the lounges. That was huge, obviously, for me and my business. And I think that the sky is the limit for what we can do from there. So that in itself is just, I think, one thing we're doing really right now.
That's awesome.
Cool. So what do you think other regions can learn from the community-based event models that you guys have in Cali out there?
Well, I guess I don't know enough about what the other states' community events with cannabis are like, but
I'd say speaking from our perspective, from Ohio, our community is loving. Like Ohio's community is we really are just a bunch of hippies. Like,
I've never been to Ohio.
Really are just a bunch of hippies. Where like when we went to Vegas seemed very more streamlined about the business, about like locked in about the cash, the investments of how they can improve their systems. So everybody was out there more business minded and they were locked in. They still, they still rock with each other, but competition was clearly evident. And it was like, my brand is maybe better than your brand, but they still rock with each other. So like seeing the different types of perspectives. So when we went to Vegas, it's that there, we a bunch of hippies in Ohio. Kentucky, I don't know what it is yet because we're just starting. You know what I'm saying? Okay. We're developing. We're all medicinal right now. Obviously, as you can tell, just because we're medicinal, we're already kind of blowing through the roof there. So I hope recreational will come down sooner or later. So I can't really say what it is for Kentucky. But yeah, from my two experiences, those are, I would say they're a little different in the sense that one is more serious.
Yes, it did seem more serious in Vegas. You're right. There was a weird corporate vibe.
Was a event, though. I felt like I was working the whole time. Honestly, I felt like we were at work.
Man, me and Brie were running.
I barely ate. Like I felt very productive. I was on my feet.
I didn't eat. No, I didn't eat. Really, I didn't. Exactly. I was like, I think I was on my feet for 12 hours straight at one point, and I was like, "Oh my God, what is happening?"
On day one, and I had heels on all day. It was bad.
God, I'm so sorry.
I had to do it though. I had to do it.
Yeah, you did.
I did it.
So what's next? What's next for Stony Pony?
My gosh, besides world domination? Well, no. What's next for Stony Pony? I honestly, because I've been sick and haven't been able to produce as many events as I would like, what's next for Stony Pony is I want like I have my monthly events the second Friday and fourth Friday, but I want like a new, fun, unique, different event like every 2 months. That's my goal. And then my online community I'm working on, I have an app in development. And yeah, so look for Stony Pony app, look for Stony Pony community, follow me on the Insta, follow me on the WhatsApp.
Do you think Stony Pony will ever expand?
Yes. I see Stony Pony internationally. I don't know why, but I see Stony Pony in Japan and they hate weed in Japan. I don't know what.
Sparkly Pony, gliding across clouds. And then you just see Stony Pony in the ground.
Stony Pony International.
So whimsical.
Like
so
just
fun.
Swagged out while the pony's just crossing clouds. Stony Pony.
Yeah. That's accurate, Will. You're on to something.
Right. Any final thoughts for you looking to build community? This is pretty much your spiel. What you got to say to the people? What can you say on the behalf of cannabis?
Oh my gosh, that's a lot. That's a lot of pressure. I want to say that Stony Pony aims to spark joy and cultivate community. Just kidding. I want people to know that my mission is to normalize and destigmatize, but do it in a fun way. I think play and joy is an important part of life, even as a 40-year-old person. And I don't want it to go away. And I think this is a good way for me to keep play and joy in my life. And if I can help you keep play and joy in your life, I'm all about it.
Beautiful.
Tell the people where we can find you. Where can we find you?
Okay. Well, I'm on Instagram, Stony_Pony_events. I have a website, stonyponyevents.com. What else? Do I have a link tree? Yes, I do. Stony Pony Events. I think that's it. If you just search for Stony Pony Events on any app, I'll be there. Look for
Hit
my
that
little
Stony
white pony with unicorn head.
Stony Pony Events, bro. Okay, hit it up. Okay, and don't forget about it's like I said, catchy Stony Pony. Now I'm gonna probably that's gonna be like my vocal stem for the next week.
We'll never forget.
Pony, pony, Stony. We'll just be
Pony.
walking around the house. Stony Pony.
That is so silly. And we can't forget to honorable mention our producer slash founder of OH-HighYo Media, Anthony Gaines and Gaines Media Company, for making this all happen today. I don't know what the exact word was, but that's kind of it.
You know, he's out here for the vision, trying to create the conversation saves the nation. So you know, we're that's what we do. And that's what we do here on the podcast. That's what we do on our events. Whenever we recover, we're trying to break the stigma. We're trying to have the conversation.
Yes.
And thank you so much, Sally, for coming on and being open and authentic and being an example for everyone.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I try to be, like you said, honest, consistent, trustworthy, and that includes authenticity. I'm an open book.
Keep cultivating the vibe, and we appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and have a wonderful night.
You too.